Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And congratulations on the final season of Orange is the New Black.
Yes.
Arguably the show that invented binging.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm glad to be part of that history.
No, but
You're welcome.
Yeah. But it's true. It's true. It really was like the first show where Netflix, because before that, Netflix was like that show where people picked up things here and there. And then Orange is the New Black came out, and it was this show about a woman's prison, and it showed all of the challenges, and people just binged the entire series. Why do you think the show has connected with so many different people?
Well, I mean, what the show has tried to do is humanize people's stories, people especially that have been labeled as criminals, that have been sort of cast away by this label, people who have been affected inherently by this racist and unjust system. And people deserve those real stories. And honestly, it was the first time we got to see a ton of people of color on screen, and people were really excited about that.
It was really a groundbreaking, and is a groundbreaking show because of, you know, just what you said. The way the stories were told were human in a very real way. We learned why people go to prison, why people stay in prison. You know, some people had a history of crime. Some people were just victims of a moment in their lives.
Right.
Your character, Maritza, connected with so many people, especially in this season, because we saw her, or, you know, we were watching the show, and your character gets released on parole and then encounters a different part of America's system, and that's deportation.
Yeah.
Like, that was like a big story, not just for the show, but for you to tell. Why?
Yeah, well, you see how immigrants kind of have to pay double sentences, right? You pay your dues to society. You know, people make tons of money off you by you being in jail, and then you pay a second sentence by being thrown back into a detention center and then ultimately deported.
Right.
And we saw that with Maritza, and we saw that with so many of the other characters on Orange is the New Black.
You weren't originally going to come back on the show, and then it was really...
I thought you meant this show.
No, Orange is the New Black.
You really pissed me off last time.
No, you weren't originally, going to go back. I mean, you've been doing other shows, and you know, you've been spreading your wings. But what was really wonderful to read was why you went back for the final season of Orange. And that was because Maritza's story connected so closely to yours, but in a different way.
Yeah.
You know, you wrote a book, beautiful book, a memoir about how you came home at the age of 14 and your parents had been deported.
Yes.
And your life changed forever from that point.
Yeah. And the show certainly inspired me, the people that I worked with, inspired me to share my story, to use my voice in this way. I mean, seeing the way people were being affected by hearing these stories, by empathizing with these stories, I felt a sort of a duty to share mine, and the fact that Orange, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I was an example, or if I'm glad that they took this opportunity to talk about this issue that is affecting us so much.
Especially, you weren't quick to tell the story. That's something that I admired, is that, you know, it's not something that you always wore on your sleeve. It's not something that you acted about before. This was a big decision for you to say, hey, I'm gonna take my real life and basically portray it on this show. You've also started living that activism. You know, we see you now, you know, working with immigrants who are learning about their rights. We're seeing you, you know, lobbying to have laws repealed that have been shown to be unjust. Why? I mean, it seems obvious, but why do you think it's so important, and how do you think that message can get out there?
Well, I mean, first, shows through art we can teach so much. Through art we can help people empathize. I mean, I feel like that's the big problem in this country right now, is that, I mean, obviously that and like money. Everybody wants money, right? Right. And people want to make money off of human bodies, go figure, and children in cages. I know that's not to joke about, but it's important. Can you repeat the question? Are we gonna? Yeah, no. Is this is taped, right?
Yeah, no.
Sorry, I'm like I need some water.
This is I completely understand where you're coming from. It's like because this is like a.
Ask me the question again. Your question was weird.
If you, I'm saying, for somebody who has portrayed this character, like we've watched you as a character.
Yeah.
And then we started seeing you live that story in real life.
Yeah.
You started becoming an activist, speaking to the issues that we saw your character portray. The why of it is what makes it so interesting. Why do you feel it's so important for people to understand the human side of the conversation in immigration?
Because we're not, the reason why these laws were put in place is because we have disconnected from humanity, right? If you don't know what is going on out there, when you don't know how people are living, then you are most likely gonna just let these inhumane practices continue going on. When you label a person a criminal, then it's so easy to strip them from their humanity, from their due process rights. And we all have due process rights, right? And what you asked earlier is, why do we want, what do I want people to get out of this show, out of this story, is that we have terrible policy in place. So right, everybody talks about how Trump is making this worse, how he's used immigrants as a scapegoat, but this has been happening for a very long time. And laws like the 1996 laws that were put in place that expanded detention centers, that weakened due process laws in immigration court, and created more detention programs are laws that we need to get rid of. These are the laws that need to be repealed. We need a new way forward. And the way we do that is by all of us coming together and acknowledging that this is a problem. We need to abolish the system that we have right now and start anew, right?
A lot of people agree with you. No, it's true.
Vote for me 2020. I'm kidding. Who am I, Joe Biden? Stop.
No, there is a conversation in America right now in and around who America is and what America is. What I've always enjoyed about your story is you have told it with nuance. You know, there is a duality. You can be an American who is also an immigrant. You can be an American who is Mexican. That's America's story.
Right.
Everyone needs to be proud of that. Irish American, Italian American, etc. When you look at your journey going forward, we see the activist, but what do you want to do now? I mean, Orange is the New Black, this is the final season.
Yeah.
What's exciting that you've got that's not in the world of activism where you're just having a good time and just letting loose?
Having a good time? I don't know. I don't know what that's like. Well, look, I think that for a long time I was still, even when I shared my story, even when I came here last time and I talked about my book, I was still holding on to that shame of having my parents separated, that I actually lived through that. And honestly, like, this is the power of community. Since this season has come out, since we have actually witnessed the atrocities that are going on at the border, and we're seeing actual human lives be destroyed, I feel like I have so much more support, and I'm incentivized to continue going. I want to tell more immigration stories until the cows come home. I don't care. I know people ask me, are you afraid of being pigeonholed? I'm not. I want to continue with this work. And yeah, I want to have a little fun. Maybe I'll take a trip, I don't know.
I love it. Take a few trips, fight for people at the border, fight for the humanity of other human beings.
Yeah.
And then come back to be a guest on the Daily Show
and talk
again.
about it, and maybe be a little less nervous.
No, we're the ones who should be nervous. You've got an amazing story and you're doing fantastic work. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Trevor.
Always. All 7 seasons of Orange is the New Black are available to stream on Netflix right now. The amazing Diane Guerrero, everybody.